Okay, so welcome to our evening moon sequence practice, our Christmas practice, and the last class of the year. All right, so let's come together with in Tadasana, mountain posture. So that means bringing the feet together. Okay, try and get the big toes coming together, and then lifting the inner arches of the feet to activate the feet. And then working your way up through your thighs, engage those thighs, lifting the kneecaps up. Work your way up into your pelvis and through your root lock, your perineum squeeze. We have a Mula Bandha, that muscle lock. And we have Uddiyana Bandha, drawing in and up through your, just above your pubic bone and below your belly button. We're drawing in and up to engage with this deep set of abdominals, transverse abs, okay? Shoulders are back and down. Neck is long. Take your hands up to prayer if you like. And then we're just going to spend just a few moments on our Ujjayi breath. So we're breathing through the nose with the mouth closed, and we're sounding the breath in the back of the throat. So this breath practice, pranayama, is the most important part of our practice. So stay with this throughout, no matter what postures we're doing. And make that number one in the practice, okay? And then bandhas, and then we try to then get the most out of the body. This is more of a restorative practice, but as those of you that have been doing it, starts off slow and then builds and opens the hips and opens the back and the thighs and the shoulders. So we'll just start with it is the moon sequence, but we'll start with just a gentle sun salutation. Take it up on the in-breath. Stretch your fingers to the ceiling and then fold down, exhale. Soften your knees where you need to. Get your hands down by the sides of your feet. Look up, inhale. Flatten those hands, step back. And then just into a downward dog. No chaturanga dandasana. We don't need to do any of that stuff yet. Okay, belly strong, hips are high, and then come down to your knees, and then take a stretch back into child's posture. Send your fingers towards the front of the mat, send your hips towards the back of the mat, and breathe deep and wide into your back. Come up to your knees, okay, just with your hips down by your heels if you can. If you're not finding that comfortable, you can always come up to high kneeling. Reach up on the in-breath. Come down with the hands again to child's posture on the out-breath. Bring the hands back to all fours. And then from there, take your hands forwards and tuck your toes into downward dog. Exhale. Come back down to those knees. Bring the hands back. Look up. Inhale. And then take the hands forwards again and exhale into child's posture. From there, come up, take your hands to your hips, and then send the weight forwards and back. Yes, pushing the hips forwards, but taking the head back, all with the breath. Come back, and back to kneeling. And you can either have the hips down onto the heels, or you can sit high kneeling. Inhale, reach the arms up. Take the hands forwards and exhale into child's posture. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Inhale. Take the hands forwards on the mat, tuck the toes, lift the hips, pull the belly in. Exhale. Come down to the knees, take the hands under the shoulders, arch the spine. Inhale. Take the hands back, send the hips back. Exhale. Come up to high kneeling. Take the hands to the hips. Inhale. Push the hips forwards. Open the chest. Exhale. Bring yourself back. Inhale. And come down. Kneeling. Exhale. Inhale. Reach it up. Every time trying to get a little bit more range. Child's posture, exhale. All fours, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Arch your spine, all fours. Inhale, tailbone away, child's posture. Exhale. Bring the hands to the hips, high kneeling. Inhale. Push the hips forwards, open the chest, take the head back. Exhale. Come back, high kneeling. Inhale. Come back down to kneeling. Exhale. Inhale. So we're trying to get into this flow of breath and movement. Child's posture. Hands and knees. Downward dog. Hands and knees to arch spine on the in-breath. Child's posture on the out-breath. High kneeling, hands to hips on the in-breath. Bandhas, exhale into back bend. In-breath, coming up. And then come back down. Okay, let's add some breath to this. Take the hands up now and breathe. Draw the belly in. So remember, we can either be in with the hips down or we can be in a high kneeling position. Breathe. Take your hands forwards, child's posture, and breathe. Knees as wide as you like. Stretch away, fingertips from the hips. Come up to hands and knees. Stretch the mat sideways to open up those shoulder blades. Pulling the abdominals deep in and staying nice and still, and breathe. Bandhas on. Take your hands to the front of the mat, tuck the toes, pull the belly and hips high, down dog. Feet hip distance, hands shoulder distance. You know what to do in down dog. Send the weight back. Draw the head between the shoulders. Roll the shoulders from the ears, come back down to hands and knees. This is where we take an in-breath to look up. And then exhale to cat, scoop the belly. In-breath again, arch the spine. Exhale to cat. Make sure that you've got your knees underneath your hips and your hands underneath your shoulders as we go through this. Cat stretch. And one more of those, in-breath, look up. Exhale to cat. Come to high kneeling. Hands to hips. Take some breath. And then push the hips forwards. Take the head back. Open up through the front of the body. Stay strong in your core. Thighs are on, coming back, and then back down to kneeling, and then into child's posture. Coming back to reaching the arms up, take some breath, palms are together, draw the arms back, bandhas on, take the hands forward, stretch the fingers away from the toes. Breathe deep and wide into your ribs. Come up to hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Belly is strong. Stay with your breath. And then we're going to take it into down dog. So whilst you're in your down dog, taking a few breaths, I'm just going to let the dog out. Pasta pesto. Okay. Come down to hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Look up, inhale. Exhale, tuck the tailbone. Into cat. In, breath away. Exhale to your cat. In, breath away. Exhale, scoop the belly, tuck the tailbone, open the shoulders, then come back, neutral spine, come up to high kneeling, take the hands to the hips and just hold it there. Squeeze the shoulder blades, set yourself up, pelvic floor, deep abdominals. Now push the hips forwards. Keep the thighs on, open the chest, breathe. And then come down to kneeling. And then stretch the fingers forwards from the toes and breathe. Come back to your kneeling position and reach those arms up once again. Start to build some heat now. Draw the abdominals in, breathe, draw the arms back, drop the shoulder blades down the back, sit tall. Mula Bandha, root lock, Uddiyana Bandha, abdominal lock. Take the hands forward, send the hips away, stretch the fingers away. Child's posture. Come to your hands and your knees. Breathe, stretch the mat sideways to open up those shoulder blades. Pull the abdominals in, engage through your core, your root lock. Breathe deep and wide into your ribs. Take your hands forwards on the mat, tuck your toes, lift your hips, pull your belly in into downward facing dog. Roll those shoulders from your ears. Sound the breath in the back of your throat. Thighs are on. Lengthening out. Come back down, get ready to arch and then cat. Look up, inhale, exhale, cat. Lead the movement with the tailbone. Send the tailbone away, work through the spine, look up, inhale. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, scoop the belly, open up through the shoulder blades. Work through this one with the breath. Deep and wide breaths into your ribs. Come to a neutral spine. Bring yourself to high kneeling, hands on hips. Take some breath. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Push the hips forwards into your back bend. Keep your thighs on. Take your head back and breathe. And then come back to kneeling. And then stretch forwards into child's posture. Take some breath. Come back to that kneeling position. We'll do one more round. And we're stretching up, taking the arms back, but dropping the shoulder blades down the back, keeping the neck long, just gaze forwards. Keep your drishti, your gaze nice and soft. Keep your core nice and strong. Stretch forwards into child's posture. Hips go back, breathe. Deep and wide breaths into your back. Come up to hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Draw the abdominals in. Mula Bandha's on, Uddiyana Bandha's on. You're going to take your hands forwards, you're going to tuck your toes, and you're going to lift up into downward facing dog. Feet are hip distance, hands are shoulder distance. Fingers are spread, shoulders rolling from ears. Come back down. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, tailbone away, look up, arch the spine, inhale. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, scoop the belly around the back and tuck the chin in that order, and we go for it again. Sequentially through your spine, really work. Keeping the weight distributed evenly between your knees and your hands. Use that breath to really get the most out of your cat. Working sequentially through your spine. Come to a neutral spine. High kneeling, hands to hips. Take some breath. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Squeeze those shoulder blades towards and then push the hips forwards. And take the head back and breathe. Sounding the breath in the back of your throat. And then come back to kneeling. And then stretch those hands forwards. Come up to your kneeling position, either low or high. Take the hands up again. Reach it up. This time we're just going to be taking 1 or 2 breaths here as we go into forwards on the sequence. Bring the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, pull the belly and breathe. Take the hands forwards on the mat, tuck the toes, lift the hips, stretch the heels down. Breathe, push the floor away, sound the breath in the back of your throat. Come down to your knees, and now high kneeling to step your left leg forwards. Make sure your left knee is comfortable, and sink down, reaching the hands down. Now reach the arms up, and stretch. Breathe, sink down through the hips on that back leg, and then bring the hands back down. And then from there, we'll come to high kneeling, take the hands forwards, tuck the toes, keep your heels high in your down dog. Inhale and then exhale, heels down. Breathe. Come down to those knees again. High kneeling. Stepping your right foot forward, sending your left knee back. Breathe. Take your arms up. Reach. Take some breath. Bring the hands down. Stay with that breath. Number one, bring the knees back. And take the hands forwards. Draw the belly in. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips. High heel down dog. And then heels down. Stay with your breath. Come down. Take your hands under your shoulders. Arch your spine. Inhale. And then take your hands forwards. Exhale, child's posture. Come up to high kneeling, hands to hips. Inhale, push the hips forwards. Exhale. And then high kneeling. And then coming down. Reach the arms up. Take the hands forwards. Child's posture, come to all fours. Take some breath. Come to your hands forwards into downward facing dog. Pull the belly and lift the hips high. Draw the weight back. Breathe. Come down again and high kneeling. Step your left foot forwards again. Sink down. Take some breath. Send the hip down. Stretch the hands down. Reach the arms up. Take some breath. And then from here, we're going to try and deepen that. We're going to try to reach back. More of a back bend. Open up the hips. Open the chest. Breathe. Bring those hands back. Tuck your toes. Come to high heel down dog. And then heels down. Push the floor away. And then come back down to your knees. And then step your right leg forwards. Send that left knee away. Breathe. Take your hands up. Reach. Draw the arms back. Take some breath. Now more. Back bend if you can. Reaching away. Sinking down through the hip flexor on the back leg. Draw the arms back. Stay with your breath. Release. Come to high heel down dog. Lift the hips and then exhale. Heels down. Push the floor away and breathe. Coming back down to hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale to look up. Exhale into cat. Inhale to look up. Exhale into cat. Inhale to look up. Exhale to cat. And one more. Inhale, look up. Exhale to cat. Come up to high kneeling. Take some breath with the hands on the hips. Now push the hips forwards. Send that weight back. But at the same time, the thighs are on and we're breathing. And then from there, if you come down and go and rest in child's posture for just a few breaths for me whilst I let the dog in. Okay, once more, breathe nice and deep in your child's posture. And then from there, take the hands forwards on the mat, tuck the toes, lift the hips, and come into downward facing dog. Okay, so we've done a few rounds of sun salutations. We're now going to start building the practice up. So loading those shoulders, sending the weight back. Anytime you need to, you take some breath. The right leg's going to come up to the ceiling. And then you're going to sink the left heel down towards the floor. Breathe. So that opposition, you're really lifting the right leg up and you're really stretching the left heel down. You're turning the right foot side on. You're lifting higher and you're sinking down with the left heel. You're going to bend that right knee and then try to open the hips up a little bit more. Come back. to your downward dog. Take some breath. Roll the shoulders from your ears. Keep that going. Sound the breath in the back of your throat. We're going to do the other side. I should have done the left side first. Should have told me. So the left leg's coming up. And then the right heel down. Maybe you've done it that way, so I'll try not to put you off. But in future, throughout all of them, all these postures, we start with the left side in the moon sequence. Breathe. Can you turn your foot side on, open up and breathe. You're going to bend that left knee and lift the knee higher and open up the hips. Sound the breath in the back of the throat. Bring the feet back. If you need to, you're coming to child's posture. You come down to your knees. Otherwise, you're in down dog and you're taking some breath. So we're going to pivot the right foot and we're going to step the left foot in between or towards those hands. And we're going to come up. Then we're going to stretch this left hand down. And this right hand up into familiar Trikonasana, triangular posture. Stay with your breath. Breathe. Open up the rib cage. Now you're going to bend that left knee, and then you're going to take the left hand down to the floor if you can, inside, and breathe. Send the right foot away. Draw the arm back, open the ribs, sound the breath in the back of the throat. Bring both hands down. Either side of your left foot. Come to high heel down dog. And exhale, heels down. And breathe. Sounding the breath in the back of your throat. Pull your belly in. You're going to pivot your left foot and you're going to step your right foot now. Your right hand down your right leg, your left hand to your hip, and then the left hand to the ceiling. So focus on good form, as always. Breathe. Sound that breath in the back of your throat. From here, we're going to bend the right knee now, knee above ankle. Take the hand down to the floor inside of the foot if you can, and keep drawing that left hand up. Send the left foot into the floor. Both hands down, either side of your right foot. Come to a high heel down dog. Mula bandhas on, Uddiyana bandhas on, and into your down dog. Breathe. Stretch the mat sideways. Open up those shoulders. Breathe. Pivot your right foot. Step your left. Keeping your right hand down, or if that's too much, take it to your leg. Take your left hand up. And open up on this side. And breathe. Keep sounding the breath in the back of your throat. Rib cage to the ceiling. From here, we're going to pivot the back foot so the heel comes up, and we're going to bend that left knee. So maybe you're going to stretch that right foot back a little further. Keep the hand up and you're really opening up through the shoulders. We bring both hands back and then we come to high heel down dog. And then heels down. Push the floor away. Remember, anytime you need to, you're coming to your child's posture. You pivot your left foot, you step your right foot now. Keep your left hand down, opposite your right foot. Take your right hand up. Twist. Push the floor away. Stretch to the ceiling. Open up through that wingspan. Breathe into your ribs, sounding the breath in the back of your throat. So back foot, heel comes up. Bend the front knee, maybe a little bit longer if you need to. And the knee is above the ankle on the right foot. The right hand stays up. Stay with your breath. Breathe, 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 breathe. Bring in both hands down. Come to your high heel down dog. And exhale, heels down. Take some breath in your down dog, sounding that breath in the back of your throat. So we're going to pivot this right foot and we're going to step the left foot. Okay? And then from here, the hands are down on the floor. And then we're going to try to reach them as far forwards as you can. You might be fingertips or you might be flats of the hands. Stay with your breath. Sound the breath in the back of your throat. Draw the chest down. From this position, keep your core switched on. Sweep your hands behind. Interlace your fingers. And open up through the chest and the shoulders whilst working strongly still with that left leg opening up. Breathe. Bandhas on. Breathe into the chest and the shoulders. Bend that front knee. Take the hands to the floor. Come to high heel down dog. And then heels down. Mula bandhas on. Uddiyana bandhas on. Push the floor away. Pivot your left foot. Step your right foot forwards. Nice and long. Draw the chest down. Work the hands forwards. If you can, maybe you get the flats of the hands down on the floor. Breathe. Draw the chest down. Sound the breath in the back of your throat. Breathe. Keep strong in your core. Keep strong in your thighs, but not locking out. Sweep your hands behind. Interlace your fingers. And open up the chest and the shoulders. Core's got to be on. Breath. Ujjayi breath number 1. Make sure you're not too long in this posture. Got to be stable. Bring the hands down, bend the front knee, and high heel down dog, and then heels down. Breathe. So we're going to step your left foot forwards now, and we're going to send the right heel away. We're going to come up to hands on hips, okay? Take some breath here. Feel that work into the right side of that, the right leg there, the hip flexor. Bring the hands up, stretch up. So keep reaching up, drawing the arms back as well, and dropping the shoulder blades down the back. Just breathe deep and wide into your ribs. Sound the breath in the back of your throat. Bring the hands back down. Come to high heel down dog. And then exhale, heels down. Breathe, sound the breath in the back of your throat, lengthen the spine, open the shoulders, step the right foot forwards, keep the left heel up, take the hands to the hips, square up, hips and shoulders. Take some breath, open up the chest, and then bring the hands up. Draw the arms back, gaze forwards or down. Strong in that back leg, strong in the front leg. Bring the hands down, come to your high heel down dog, and heels down. And then you're going to take some breath there in your down dog. So stay with that breath, downward facing dog, trying to get a little bit more range in the shoulders and in the spine. Breathe. Breathe nice and deep. And then from here, we're stepping those feet up to your hands, and we're sitting down on the floor. Okay. Bum cheeks out of the way. Sit nice and tall, pull the abdominals in, take the hands by the sides of your legs, and stretch down. Draw those hands down to the sides of the legs, sides of the feet. Draw the chest forward, send the tailbone away, pull the abdominals deep. Breathe. So we now start to add our seated vinyasa. So we come back to Dandasana, sit tall, and then from there we're going to lie back and push the heels directly above the hips. From there we reach the hands up the legs. We sink the spine into the floor, and we draw the thighs down and the feet down. Then we reach for the ankles and tuck the heels in and lift the hips up into your back bend. Squeeze through the inner thighs, and then we come back down. Hug the knees in, and we roll up. And we keep the left leg long. In fact, let's keep the right leg long and take the left foot in. Sit tall and breathe. So your right leg is long and your left foot is inside of your right thigh. Take your hands and just stretch a little bit further if that feels okay. Reach it up with the left hand. Wrap it around your back. And then with your left hand towards the crease of your right hip, bind with something and reach your right hand down. Twist to the left And breathe. Your hand's going to be on your leg or your foot. And then you're going to reach for your big toe if you can, or your ankle. Drop your elbow down the inside of that leg. Release the left hand up and over. And breathe. And then release. From there, come back to Dandasana. Sit tall. Come to lying down and push the heels away. Reach the hands up the legs, keep the spine down and send the tailbone away. Pull the thighs into the chest. Breathe. Take hold of your ankles, tuck the heels in, hip distance apart. Lift up into back bend, lift the chest. Squeeze through the inner thighs. And then come back down. Hug those knees in. And roll yourself up with your left leg long. Stay with your breath. Take your right foot inside of your left thigh. Take your hands behind and just stretch a little bit longer. Take this right hand and reach it up. Wrap it behind your back. Take the right hand towards the crease of your left hip. Get a hold of a bit of clothing with that right hand. Take the left hand down that left leg or foot. Twist round to your right. Breathe. Open the chest. Get hold of the big toe, first two fingers if you can, otherwise round your leg. Drop the elbow down if you can, and then release the right hand up and over. So try to keep the ribs lifting. Stretching that hand towards your foot, but not at the expense of dropping down on the right side. Release from there, and then come back to Dandasana. Take some breath. Come back to lying down, pushing the heels up. And then from here, there, reach the hands up, the legs, and then draw those thighs in towards your chest. Breathe. Try and keep the back down on the floor, and then get hold of those ankles. Lift the hips. Squeeze through the inner thighs. Lift the chest. Inner thighs squeezing. And then release down. Hug the knees in. And then roll up. So have your feet together, but your heels further apart, further away from your body. Okay. And just from here, take your hands down and stretch down. So those heels are still away from the body. Breathe. Feel that stretch into your spine. Come back now, draw the heels in tighter. And then once again, reach forwards with the hands and breathe. Bring those hands back, interlace the fingers. Get your thumbs to open up your feet. Use your elbows to open up your knees. Draw your chest forwards. And breathe. And then release. And then Dandasana once more. Sit tall. Pull the abdominals in. Lie back. Push the heels to the ceiling. Tuck the chin. Reach the hands up the legs. Keep the spine down. Send the hips away. Breathe. Tuck those heels in and lift up into your back bend. Lift the hips, squeeze through the inner thighs, and release. And hug those knees in, roll yourself up. Now stretch your legs out wide. Stay with that breath. So take the hands behind and try to get as much range as you can. Sending the toes up and the heels away, rolling the thighs out and away. Stretch those arms forwards now and reach. Keep the thighs on, open up through the back of the knees. Keep reaching those hands forwards, the chest forwards, the thighs rolling out and away. Walk your hands to your left leg. either side of that leg and stretch down. Draw the chest down. Keep the toes towards you and the heels away. Walk the hands over to the right leg. Stretch down. Thighs are on. Stay with your breath. Come back to the center. Reach those arms up. Sit tall. Mula bandhas on. Uddiyana bandhas on. Draw the arms back. Breathe into your ribs. Anytime this feels too much, or that you're finding that you're getting tight in the hips there, you're not liking it, release, obviously. Now from here, take those hands back into inverted prayer if you can. Taking the pinkies up the back, pressing the palms. If that's not happening, you could have fingertips to your elbows. Sit tall, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale, exhale, fold. And breathe. Draw the chest down. Push the heels away. Sound the breath in the back of the throat. And release. Bring those feet together, sitting in Dandasana. Take the legs up and above the hips. And then draw the knees, the thighs into the chest. And breathe. Now get hold of the ankles, tuck the heels in. Lift the hips. Inner thighs squeeze. Shoulders under. Come back. Hug those knees in. And roll up. Keep your right leg long and take your left foot over your right thigh, placing the foot on the floor. Squeeze that left leg. Sit tall. Take your right heel now, tuck it into the body. Twist round to your left. Draw the chest round. If you've got more range, you could tuck your right hand underneath of your left knee. And then wrap your left hand behind. Breathe, twist. Release. We're going to do the other side. We're going to take your right foot over your left leg. Sit tall, hug that leg. Breathe, feel the stretch on the outside of that hip. Tuck the left heel in. Twist to your right. Draw the chest round. Pull the abdominals deep in. Maybe wrapping this left hand underneath of your right knee. Stay with your breath and release. From here, sitting in Dandasana. Take some breath and then roll back. Push the heels to the ceiling. Reach the hands up the legs and then draw those knees and thighs down. And then get hold of your ankles and then come up to your back bend. So you're going to lift your hips, squeeze through your inner thighs and draw those shoulders under. And you're going to take some breath there. Come up and cross your legs. Sit tall. Now reach your hands forwards and open up into the hips and into the back. Breathe. Walk your hands round to the left. Take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh and take your left hand behind and twist. Sweep the hands back to the front and stretch forwards again, reaching down. Walk the hands over to the right. Take the right hand all the way back and the left hand to the outside of your right thigh. Breathe. Stay with your breath. Come back. Sitting in Dandasana. Roll back. Take the heels up. And then reach. And into thighs down, hips down, tailbone away. Reach for the ankles, tuck the heels in, and lift up into your back bend. Draw the shoulders under. Lift the hips, squeeze through those inner thighs. Bandhas and Ujjayi breath all the way. Come back down, hug the knees. Roll up, roll over those feet. Push back to down dog. Lift your left leg up. And bring that left knee towards your left hand. Stepping your left foot towards your right hand. Drop down into pigeon. Stretching away with your right foot. Ball of the foot or top of the foot. Sink down. Stretch the hands away. Breathe. Reach the right arm forwards. Take the left arm under. Stick with that one, or bend the left elbow and place the right hand on top of the left hand. Keep the right leg active. Breathe, change hands. Left arm forwards, right arm under. Breathe. Stay with that one, keep the back leg active, or bend that right elbow and place palm on palm. Look up to your left elbow. Come back to down dog. Hips high, belly strong. Take your right leg up. Bring your right knee towards your right hand and your right foot towards your left hand. Just sink into pigeon. Send the left leg back. Stretch down. Send the left leg away and breathe. From here, keep the left arm forwards and reach the right arm under. You could stay with that, or you could bend that right elbow and look up to your left elbow. Stay with your breath. We're going to change sides. We're going to take the right arm forwards and the left arm under. And we can stay with that one, or we can bend that left elbow and look up towards the right. Stay with your breath. Stay with that. And then when you're ready, come to down dog, and I'll let the dog back again. Breathe. Into down dog. Come down to your knees. And then from here, draw the knees towards one another, but send the heels out. And then from here, so you want to be further up on your mats. Depends how much room you've got where you're doing this. Sink down, so the hips coming down. If you're uncomfortable with that, something underneath of your thighs there. If you're able to, we're going to lean back. So I've got my hands on my feet. You just got to do this gradually, depending on what's happening for you. Okay. Maybe you can work your way back. Listen to your knees, your hips, your back. Sound the breath in the back of your throat. Open up the front thighs, the hips, chest. Maybe lie all the way back. Maybe stretch the arms out. And bandha zone, release. Push up to down dog. Come down to your knees again. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, look up. Tailbone away, exhale to cat. And again, inhale, look up, tailbone away. Exhale to cat. And one more, inhale away. Exhale, scoop the belly around the back, cat. Neutral spine, hands to the front of the mat, tuck the toes, into down dog. Lengthen out, open the shoulders, come back down to your knees, high kneeling. Take the hands to the hips, push the hips forwards, take the head back, breathe. Thighs are on, come back. Keep the hips up as you stretch your hands forwards in child's posture. Deep and wide breaths into your back. Come back up to high kneeling. And push the hips forward, send the head back. So either stay with this one, or if you can release your right hand, take it to your right heel. And release your left hand to your left heel. Open up and breathe, push the hips forwards. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards. Bandhas, release. Come back to your child's posture. Take some breath. Coming up, can you take your hands to inverted prayer on the back? Put those hands up, fingertips to elbows. If not, push the hips forwards. Take the head back. Pressing those hands into your spine. And release. Stretch back to arms posture. Take some breath. Stay in that low kneeling position and reach your left hand up. Okay, come up to your knees. And as you take your right hand to your right heel, your left hand goes back, the hips go forward. And you keep drawing that arm back. And you keep sending the hips forwards. Then you breathe. You come back. And you sink down again. You reach your right hand up. Bandhas on. Come up to high kneeling. Take your left hand to your heel. Take your right hand back. Send the hips forwards, thighs on. Breath. And release. Come into that kneeling position. Take your hands forwards, tuck your toes, come to down dog. Pull the belly in, walk the feet forwards to the width of the mat. Squatting down here and sending those upper arms into your thighs. Try to keep the heels down. See how this feels for you. Pressing the thighs into the arms and the arms into the thighs. The belly's strong, the root lock's on, the chest is lifted. Breath is there all the way. Take the hands onto the mat. Tuck the toes into down dog. Lengthen out. Come down to knees. Okay, so this is where we're going to go to the wall. So take your mat to the wall. If you're not there already. Obviously, I've got the radiator scenario going on. So take the hips close and then sweep the legs up. Okay. Take the arms out if you like, or keep them down by your sides. And then stretch those legs out. And just see how wide you can go there. Hips are close in. And you could place the hands on the belly. You could take them to your legs. You could take them out. You could have your elbows the same height as your shoulders, as I'm doing. Open up the chest a bit more. Mind you, it's had plenty of that. Breathe, chin is tucked. Make sure you're comfortable. You're maintaining engagement through core. You're staying with that ujjayi breath. Just letting those legs, let gravity take effect there. Stay with your breath. And then we're going to bring those legs back. And then we're going to swing back down, back onto your mat, on your back. And bring those heels in together and let the knees just drop out to either side with the soles of the feet together. Okay, and you could place your hands on the inner thighs or on your belly. Breathe, deep and wide breaths into your ribs. Sounding the breath in the back of your throat. And then from there, take the palms facing up. Stretch the legs out. Unless you want to stay in that position, that's absolutely fine. Take a couple of deep in breaths and sharp out breaths. And now releasing that ujjayi breath. Chin should be slightly tucked. If not, take something behind the head. Make sure you're comfortable. And then just feel that brow softening and your jaw relax. And then just feel the breath through the belly, maybe, or the chest, or the nose. So we're in Shavasana now, dead man's posture, allowing your body to recover. So no longer are you holding bandhas, those muscle locks. You relax through the belly, through the perineum. The jaw is relaxed. The brow is soft. And you're just following the breath. Keep returning to your breathing. And if your mind wanders off, that's okay. Just bring it back gradually and follow the breath either through the nose or the chest or your belly. So we're just going to start giving your fingers and toes a little wake up. Deeper breaths in and out. And gradually walk the feet in and hug the knees in. Imprint your spine and just rolling side to side. Roll over to your right. And then when you're ready, roll up. And we shall finish there. Namaste. And Merry Christmas.